In this video, you're going to learn every single thing you need to know in order to start a window cleaning business or add window cleaning as a service to your already existing business. We're going to go over licensing and insurance, all the equipment you need, how to perform the job, how to price the job, how to get customers, how to sell the service, as well as how to offer window cleaning so that it's the most profitable for your business. But we've also teamed up with the window cleaning resource to give away the ultimate window cleaning business starter kit to a premium or platinum subscriber of Quote IQ. So if you need help keeping up with customers, sending estimates, invoices, or collecting payments, then check out Quote IQ. All you need to do is download it with the links in the comment section and the description and become a premium or platinum subscriber, and you'll be entered to win. Also, I'll have a bunch of other helpful links for starting your window cleaning business, such as a free insurance quote and the best place to get your equipment in the comment section and the description as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. First and foremost, let's kind of talk about licensing, insurance, certifications, anything like that. Can we operate under our current LLC? What does that look like, Mike?
Absolutely. If you've got a current business, then by all means you can offer all kinds of services. You know, there might be some stipulations with your insurance based on the use of ladders, how high you're able to go. Just like roof cleaning, you know, some insurance companies, they don't like to cover roof cleaning, and that goes for, you know, with obvious reasons. We all know that ladder falls are one of the biggest forms of injury in the workplace, and so insurance companies try to limit their liability by reducing, you know, their coverage of those jobs that require ladders and things of that nature. So, but you can operate any business under, you know, an umbrella of an LLC. And as far as insurance, that's something that you would obviously have to take up with your insurance company. However, if you're on the ground and you're not, you know, moving on ladders or you know, rappelling off of buildings to do window cleaning, then you should have no issues whatsoever.
Okay, beautiful. So now that we kind of talked about, you know, the logistics on the front end, insurance, business certificates, things of that nature, let's kind of move into the equipment, because I think it's like probably the second piece of what guys really need. So can you kind of walk us through what equipment we're going to need to start our window cleaning business?
Yeah, and that's one of the most beautiful things about this this business. If you're just starting out, right? If you don't have an existing footprint, then window cleaning is something that you can get into for ridiculously cheap. And you know, essentially all you need is a squeegee, a mop, a bucket, some soap, and the wherewithal to get out there and find customers, right? And I've got a couple little examples. I ran up to one of the trucks and grabbed these. We don't have any window cleaning jobs today, which is a good thing. But Justin, if you'll remind me to put these back, because if I don't, they're going to yell at me, and I'm going to send somebody out to clean windows, and they're not going to have their stuff, and it's not going to be good.
Absolutely.
But like I had said, you need squeegees. Now, there are all different levels of quality, and this goes with everything, right? You can get into a lot of businesses for really cheap. You could go to Lowe's, you could go to Home Depot, and you could buy a pressure washing, like a residential little mop and squeegee for probably under 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks, something like that. And you could get out there and you could do an adequate job cleaning windows. Now, the stuff that I'm going to show you, you know, these are a little bit nicer. These are professional grade squeegees. You know, you can put them on poles, extendable poles, and things of that nature. But, you know, if you're just starting out, you know, you're going to learn how to use a squeegee. You're going to learn how to be efficient with a squeegee, minimizing your strokes. But that's a very inexpensive you know, part of the equation. And then this is a pretty big mop. This is for, you know, big windows. But what you do is this is saturated with both water and a soap solution. You know, a lot of guys will just use a Dawn dish detergent, which is readily available everywhere. But you get this thing wet with a little bit of water, a little bit of soap, and you're going to find the best ratio there that works for you. You're going to soap up your window, and then you're going to squeegee it off, right? Those are the main tools. You're going to need a bunch of towels, right? The lint-free towels, you see those all over the place. And that's essentially all you need. You're going to need a bucket or maybe a little spray bottle that you can put your solution. It's really, again, just dependent on what you want to do and how you're, you know, going to go about cleaning these windows. But really, those 3 or 4 things are all you need. And you're talking, honestly, at the very low entry point level, like beginner stuff, you know, 50, 60 bucks all in is probably where you're looking at.
Okay, beautiful. And what kind of jobs can they do with these? Are these like lower level home windows? Or these, you can do some commercial windows with this?
Yeah, storefronts. I mean, smaller homes where you're not requiring, ladders and extension poles and things like that. What I just showed you is ideal. Now you can buy extension poles for not a lot of money, and you can get proficient in using these tools to do, second story, even third story windows. But like I said, as you get more into the business, as your business grows, as you learn more, you're going to want a little bit better stuff. Even like the rubber on the squeegees is different, right? The stuff that you buy at Home Depot or Lowe's is, I don't want to say substandard. It's good for a homeowner, but it's not good for somebody that's out there trying to make a living being a professional doing window cleaning.
Excellent. And so, like, when would you need to kind of make the jump, Mike, into some better equipment? And what does that jump look like? Is it water-fed poles? Is it what else would be in that?
Well, I think that if you're going to be focused primarily on window cleaning, you need to become a master of the traditional window cleaning, which is a mop and a squeegee, right? You need to become the most proficient that you can at that craft. And it is a craft, it's an art form, right? And I am by no means an artisan of window cleaning. I'm a business owner that saw the need for, including that in my business. And I have been able to train people and hire people that were proficient, right? Now we are proficient. We are not like these guys that you see out there on YouTube that are just masterful at the work, right? We do a very good job and we satisfy our customers' needs. But again, this all goes back to being efficient and learning your craft, putting in the time, putting in the effort, educating yourself, teaching, learning, doing all those things to get really good at it. But at what point do you need to improve or to improve your equipment? I think that's really on you. It could become a financial thing. If all you can afford is that $50, $60 to get started, get out there, learn it, get as proficient as you can. And then when you start storing away money, when you start, becoming more profitable in your business, then you can reinvest in your business and start getting the better equipment. We use water-fed poles on all of our exterior windows, right? And that is because it's very quick. It's very efficient. We can get in there without a lot of expertise, right? It's not nearly as refined as a traditional window cleaning. And like I said, it's a lot quicker. It's a lot more efficient. And so that's why we primarily only offer exterior window cleaning. On very rare occasions, do we really like to go into the interior of people's homes and do that, just because it's a lot more time consuming. And like I said, it takes a lot more skill. To be as proficient and as efficient as needed to be in order to maximize, your dollars, right? The slower you are, the less money you're going to make. And if there's somebody that can go in there and do the job in half the time that we can, then, they're going to be more profitable. But that's also why I charge a lot more than most window cleaning companies, just because I don't want to do it, right? And we don't rely on this. So we're able to leverage that and really kind of make it where we're in the driver's seat. Yeah, I also want to get my interior windows done. Okay, it's going to be $500, where somebody else might come in and do it for $150. But we're there. We're doing the interior. We're doing the exterior. We're doing the exterior pressure washing. We're doing the exterior windows. What's another $500 when the ticket's already at $1,500 or whatever it is?
And that's one of the benefits of offering multiple services as one business, because Mike's already built the trust with the customer. He's already done a great job for them. So why not go ahead and add it on, even though he's offering it at a higher price, rather than the customer taking a chance with another company? They might just go ahead and go with Mike. The other cool thing about window cleaning as a service is, as Mike mentioned, you get into it for $60. Like, you can't say no to that. You know what I mean? Like, that's really good. So Mike, as far as how to clean the windows, can people go to their parents' house? Can they clean their own windows? And is there any tips you can kind of give them for that process?
To your point, yes. I'm looking out the window in my office right now. It's a big ass window. And I spent hours in here with a mop, with a squeegee, perfecting the S technique and watching videos on YouTube and learning everything that I could. The perfect ratio of soap to water, so you're able to clean and glide and all these things without leaving residue. Blah blah blah. You could look at a million videos and teach yourself the techniques, but videos are only going to go so far. You have to get out there and put into action the things that you're learning. So family, friends, we talk about that all the time, leveraging your family and friends. Justin, we just talked about this yesterday. they're a little bit more forgiving too. So maybe it's going to take you a little bit longer, and then somebody that they hire, but you're just learning. So practice at home, practice on your shower, the glass on your shower. That's a nice big one. Any windows that you got, you got to get proficient so you can get out there and be as profitable as possible.
Absolutely. So you can start for a little money. You can do your own windows. I'm sure if you went around, you could clean other people's windows for absolutely free. And that is a great selling point. Hey, can I clean one of your windows for free? You find a really, really dirty one, clean the one so that way they could see the difference between the clean and the dirty. And there you go. You have a selling technique. We'll talk about selling a little bit later on. You got a point on that, Mike?
Well, you'd also ask about a water-fed pole, and at what point do you upgrade to that, right? And water-fed poles are great. And again, there are multiple stages of entry into buying, the pure water systems and the water-fed poles. You can get on Amazon and you can buy some really, really cheap water-fed poles that are going to do the job, right? They're not the best. You can go and get, and I'm not even that familiar with all of the different brands. The ones that we purchased in the past all came from the Window Cleaning Resource. And they are like the go-to guys for this type of stuff, but they provide, the knowledge and the experience to give people that are just entering the ability to make the right choices when they're buying, right? But all the stuff that we got, they're carbon fiber poles, boar's head and synthetic brushes. We use Unger single stage pure water systems. It's very simple. And I say it's simple because where I live, there's not a lot of hard water. And so your water, the water where you live is going to be dependent on how hardcore you have to go on the filtration, right? The harder the water, the more filters, the different canisters and all of this stuff. It's like a Rhodey system, which is a reverse osmosis deionized system, which really filters everything out. And that's going to give you the most pure water that you can look for. And essentially what a pure water system is, if you're watching this and you have no idea what I'm talking about, is water has got impurities in it, right? When you turn your water faucet on, that water, although it's safe to drink, it's still dirty, okay? And there are minor, small impurities in that water that if left on glass, the water evaporates eventually, and it's going to leave behind all of those impurities. So a pure water system eliminates by filtration all of those impurities, leaving only pure water, the freshest of water, right? So when it dries, the water evaporates and there's no imperfections, there's no impurities left on the glass. And that's the beauty of a pure water system. You leave it, you agitate with water, you scrub, and then you rinse with pure water. And as that water, rinses all the grossness off the windows, you're left with just a magically clean, beautiful, crystal clear window. And it's super fast. It's super efficient, a lot better than a ladder and a mop and a squeegee, in my opinion. Now, there are people out there, traditionalists, that are going to say, oh, no, I can do it way faster. And they probably can, right? These guys are pros. But for our situation, pure water is the way to go. And you can get into that relatively inexpensive too. I mean, there is going to be some cost, probably under $1,000. You can get a decent, brush, pure water system, the tubing that you need, and you're good to go.
Excellent, Mike. I'm glad you kind of talked on that deionized water, because I was going to ask you about it. It's kind of hard to say.
It's a hard word.
It's a hard word to say. Anyway, we've kind of talked about a bunch of different stuff, licenses, insurance, things like that. We talked about the equipment needed, which this is a low ticket service you guys can get in for relatively cheap. We talked about how to do it, as well as how to get kind of those first jobs out of the way, friends and family, doing it for yourself, really getting that practice in. Now let's kind of get into the pricing aspect of things.
Sure.
So Mike, can you kind of break down like a per window price? Obviously every window is different. So how do you?
Yeah, well, every window is different. Every market's different. Every business is different. And I alluded to that to some degree earlier on in this video, because it's so important to understand your own costs. And I know people are so tired of me saying this, but people ask for pricing on every service that we offer all of the time, like not customers, because I give them the price, but like, guys out there on the interweb that are like, hey, how much should I charge for this? And dude, you live in Texas, you live in California, you live in Alaska, you live in the UK. I don't know what you need to charge. I don't know what your overhead is. Now, typically for window cleaning only, right? Like just window cleaning companies, they're looking for, I think the hourly rate for a guy like that is between $50 and $100 per hour is what they're trying to get on average. Because if you think about it, like for our pressure washing business, our roof cleaning business, all of those, it's significantly higher. I've got big pressure washers. I've got gas. I've got, trucks and trailers, and I've got, probably a little bit more expensive insurance, all of the things that equate to my overhead, which I have to account for when I'm determining what my prices are, right? So what I'm about to talk about, and all of that goes back to knowing your numbers, right? And, we talked about Quote IQ. Quote IQ gives you all of these things, right? Regardless of what service industry that you're in, your overhead all needs to be accounted for. And we built in a cost calculator in there. So you can put in all of your expenses, your insurance, your marketing, everything, right? Everything that it costs you to run your business goes into this calculator. And then it spits out what your break-even number is, right? So your break-even number is that number that you need to cover in order to cover all of your costs, right? Just to break even. You're not making any profit. And then you're able to add in your margin. And that's when it becomes your target hourly rate. And that's what you want to, that's your target, right? Cover your cost, and then how much margin do you want to make, right? I think 65% is probably the bare minimum that I would want to make on any service ever. That's probably the sweet spot, and then you go up from there. But so all that being said, what I'm about to talk about is just averages, national averages, things like that. Like I said, 50 to $100 for windows. And then per pane, you're looking at anywhere between like $4 and $12, right? And you're going to be all over the place depending on where your business is. Now, I try to get way more than that, simply because, like I said, it's not our primary focus. I've got other costs that I need to cover. So it's not as profitable for me, but it could be for somebody that doesn't have all the overhead that I have. So that's where costing comes into play. There are other additions, like when we do window cleaning, the first thing that I always ask is, do you have screens or do you not have screens? Because if you've got screens, then we're going to have to take them off to clean your windows, right? That's time. And that time needs to be we need to be compensated for that time. And then do you want your screens cleaned? And a lot of guys will charge $5-6 to clean a screen. There are some systems out there, these platforms that you can kind of run your screens in and out of, and it makes things a lot quicker, but those tend to be a little bit more expensive. And that's why we also like to upsell or cross-sell window cleaning as part of what we offer for pressure washing, because we're already there. We're cleaning the windows. We're cleaning, the sills. We're cleaning everything around the window. And then, it's not pure water that we're pressure washing with. So there's going to be some impurities left on those windows. So then I say, hey, do you want to add on, exterior window cleaning? It's a pure water system, and the windows are going to look, absolutely perfect when they're done. And what that does is it allows us not the need to clean the screens separately, because they're cleaned in the pressure washing process. If they have screens, we don't have to charge them for cleaning screens extra. So these are all just little things that add up when you're out there and you're talking about the cost of window cleaning. I also would say that you want to have a minimum price, right? You don't want to just say, okay, yeah, you've got 30 windows, I'm going to charge you $5 per window. Here's your bottom line cost. No, there is a cost to show up to that customer's house. So I would say have a baseline of $65 to $150 just to show up, and then add your window cleaning on to that.
Okay, beautiful. And just to retouch on, this is why we built Quote IQ the way that we did. We built a cost calculator in there so that way you could plug in everything, every cost that you have, and that would allow you to determine an hourly rate breaking point, like a break-even point for your hourly rate, and then you could even do a profit margin above that.
I also wanted to say that, because I hate talking prices, because again, like, I gave a range, a big range between $4 and $12, but also there are adders, right? There's always adders on for everything. A second story, you're going to add 50% on for those windows. A third story, another 50%. You have to be compensated for your time and the effort that you're putting forth. You need to know your value, and you need to know your market so you can charge accordingly, right? So please don't just say, well, Mike said I can charge $4. That's not what I said. Right? Everybody's market is different. So,
right. And then obviously when you're first starting out, your prices are going to be a little bit lower, so you can kind of see how long things take you, right? Get a feel for equipment, processes, things of that nature. And then you can always raise prices from there, because you're not going to have the expertise as, somebody who's been doing it for 10 years. So you need to charge accordingly. You're still trying to figure everything out.
Right.
So as I mentioned before, if you guys haven't downloaded Quote IQ, be sure to get it, because it's going to help you to send those estimates, send those invoices, collect payments, all for free, all on the free version. Diamondback said you should make $60 to $100 per hour window cleaning, sometimes more.
Yeah. Sounds good. The other thing that I would need to mention is the pricing that I was just talking about. That's residential pricing. Commercial is a whole different animal. Now, we used to get into some route work when we were doing commercial pressure washing route work at a more more volume than we're doing now. And commercial window cleaning, for the most part, at least how I used to do it, I would charge by the square foot. And from a national standpoint, you're looking between 50 cents to $2.50 per square foot for, commercial window cleaning. So that's just if that's what you're going to get into. And again, this is something that is also, if you're just starting out, the commercial window cleaning is probably something that I would recommend that you really kind of, maybe focus in on, niche down on, because I think it would probably be a lot easier, to go introduce yourself at all these little shops, these strip malls, because, like pressure cleaning for strip malls goes through a property management company, right? Pretty much any big building, it's going to be a much larger ticket. Now, window cleaning, that's something that the store manager, the general manager at the restaurant is probably going to handle on their own. And the beauty is, depending on the frequency, your price adjusts on that as well. But having a route is something that is really great for all businesses because it's steady income. It's something that you can rely on, especially going into the fall and the winter, right? We're gonna start, seeing slowdown on some things. But if you've got this continual route work, that you've got a baseline of money coming in, which is kind of a stress reliever for a lot of folks.
Sweet. Let's get back into it, Mike. We kind of talked about pricing a little bit. Now, how do we land these jobs? You kind of alluded to marketing early on. We talked a little bit about friends and family first. Is there any specific type of marketing that works really good with window cleaning? And maybe it's having it as an add-on service and having, your more profitable service like pressure washing be what you market to, and just adding this on to the ticket.
Yeah, upsells for us, cross-selling is how we really, focus on that. But, just like with any service, your marketing is, it's going to be dependent on what you're able to spend, right? And then how hard you're willing to work, right? You can go out and go heel to toe and pound the pavement and go door to door for window cleaning, right? You can do this commercial and residential. I think that probably, the Facebook ads are going to work really well for this. I think, advertising on Nextdoor is going to work really well for this. If you can get into those neighborhoods that, are a little bit higher end, that are going to actually want these services, and I think that's something that's also important for folks, is to really understand what the, understand who your ideal customer is, right? Because it's not going to be, honestly, and I hate to say this, it's not going to be somebody that's making, $30, $40, $50,000 a year that's living in a $1,200 or a 1,200 square foot home. It's going to be the people that are making significantly more, that have got some disposable income, that are willing to pay because, they want their stuff looking nice all the time. So knowing your ideal customer is essential.
Absolutely. And that's with every service, right, Mike? We always talk about these things. With regards to pricing, it's always important to know what your costs are. And then with regards to acquiring customers, it's always good to know what that ideal customer avatar is, so that way you can backwards engineer where those people are, how do we get in front of them, and how do we make the best offer in order to acquire that customer.
Right. And again, we're going to go back to the same old thing. Where do you go when you're looking for something? You go to Google, right? Be on Google. You got to have a Google Play, you got to have a Google business page, and you got to do your work every single day in order to continue to rank up and get into that top 3 spot. The higher you are, the more eyes you've got on you, the more eyes you got, the more opportunity you have for getting more customers. So really focus on that.
And the other thing that's important is, if you already have an existing business, you can sell this service to the customers that you're already servicing. So that's why it's important to have something to keep all your customers in one place. Quote IQ can help you with that. Download Quote IQ today on the App Store and the Play Store. Mike, how do we sell this service? I've never looked out of a window in my house and be like, I need this window cleaned. And so, maybe that's just where I'm at. I've never noticed it. I have noticed that the seals, I do need to get my seals cleaned. However, is there any specifics to selling window cleaning or anything like that?
In my opinion, sales is sales, right? If you can sell, if you can sell a phone, or you can sell a pencil, you can sell window cleaning, right? You identify the pain points, you identify what the problem is for the customer, and like yourself, like but I think maybe we're dudes, right? So we don't have the same eye for detail as far as something like that goes. So your ideal customer is, again, somebody that is, cognizant of their surroundings, and they want nice things. They have nice things, and they want to maintain those nice things. And so I think, just identifying, like, when was the last time you had your windows cleaned? For us, it's just a simple upsell. Are my windows cleaned during the pressure washing process? Your windows are cleaned during the pressure washing process, but they're not squeegee cleaned, right?
And maybe it's a great cross sell then, because it's just a cross sell, right, Mike? Not a
yeah,
okay.
not an
Because
upsell, cross sell.
while we're there, we
Right.
will take care of the windows, and it's for in the mind of the customer. It's like the house is dirty, the windows are probably dirty. Let's go ahead and get them all cleaned at the same time.
Right.
Rather than if I was advertising window cleaning as a sole service, if I look at my window right now, I'm like, I can see through it. It's clean enough, right?
Right.
But then again, maybe I'm not the ideal customer, so that's kind of why I brought it up. As obviously businesses, they don't want smudges, they don't want marks, they don't want things of that nature. So that makes a lot of sense for me. But just
Right.
with regards to cleaning the windows, I was just curious if there's
I have
maybe
no
they get dirty
magic,
in other places.
no magic sales pitch for cleaning windows. And honestly, I'm sure that if you were to, Google it or get on YouTube and take a look around, there are plenty of guys that do this specifically, right? That's their sole purpose in life, is to clean windows and to sell their service. And those are the guys that you need to go to. There are several guys out there that have got, great information. They've been doing it for a long time. They're credible sources. So I would definitely go to those folks for that type of thing. But yeah, again, I don't want to clean windows, right? That's not our niche. We want to pressure wash houses because, I can make this much pressure washing and we can make this much doing windows. But if we add the window cleaning and the pressure cleaning, we can, increase that average ticket price. I don't want to just go and clean windows. So I'm not proficient in, the ins and outs of how to get somebody to pull the trigger. But again, it's identifying, again, who your ideal customer is, establishing what their wants, their needs are, their pain points. And it's simple. It's like, are your windows dirty? They're the ones that have got the eye for detail that you and I don't have.
And I think within this conversation is the gold of window cleaning. So for any new beginner, it's a great place to start because you can start for super cheap. For anybody who has an existing service, is a great cross sell because it's just like, we're cleaning the house, might as well clean the windows. And it's just good overall because it's going to help you to raise that average ticket price without being too cumbersome. And that's kind of where I want to transition to, Mike, is how do we keep this as an easy add-on service rather than a headache? We talked a little bit about outside window cleaning versus inside. Screens, no screens, panes, no panes. What is the way that you like to keep things? You mentioned earlier you like to charge more, right, for things that you don't want to necessarily do.
Right.
But what would you place on the hierarchy of the easiest things to do to make the money and other things we don't want to do?
Exterior window cleaning with no screens is by far, in my opinion, at least for my business, is the easiest add-on service with the most, value for our bottom line. It's super easy. Water fed pull, pure water system, get in and out, super easy. We wash the house. We go and clean all the windows. Customers are super happy. Clean house, clean windows, thumbs up, nice reviews, referrals, and they call us back again next year. So that's a very good thing. And what I've also seen over the past, 5, 6, 7 years where we've really leaned hard on our follow-ups is there's an email in the sequence that says, hey, we cleaned your house X amount of months ago. How are your windows looking? Because the windows tend to get dirtier or more noticeably dirty sooner than a house. So that's in there. And I don't have a problem sending somebody out to go do, a $200, because we also have a minimum, a $250 exterior window cleaning with the water fed pull if there's no screens, right? That's super easy to do and it's profitable. So, that's some of the things that we like to do.
Okay, excellent. So we steer clear of things, interior window cleaning, we steer clear of panes, right?
Yeah, well, like in Savannah, we've got a tremendous amount of historic homes, old homes, and they had, all the individual panes, and it's just it becomes, especially for interior cleaning, that is a nightmare for somebody that is not like a true window cleaning professional, and I'm sure that it probably is for those guys too, but we avoid those, right? Like if your house is super old and you're asking for interior window cleaning, I know that there's going to be, every single window right now, everything is within 2 pieces of glass. So it's just one big sheet of glass on most, new homes. That's easy, right? Easy in and out on interior windows. But when you're looking at those individual panes, it gets a lot more difficult and a lot more time consuming, which equates to less profitability for us. So
it becomes a real pain.
a
Right,
pain.
Mike?
Oh, good one. Getting those dad jokes down. I like it.
That's right. That's right. We're kind of closing out here, but with regards to going into people's homes, is that something that was like, obviously you have employees. Is that ever weird for you? Like, have you guys done interior window cleaning? Like,
Oh man, we've done thousands over the past 13 years. We've done thousands probably of interior windows. And with my current employees, it doesn't even cross my mind. But over the years, I have had employees that I would not send into somebody's home because A, they're either not like the most meticulous, B, they're not the most trustworthy, and C, I don't. Maybe they didn't have the best customer skills, customer interaction. Maybe they were smokers, right? And I knew they were smokers. And if you're a smoker, you smell like smoke. And then you go into somebody's house, and now their house smells like smoke. And all I can think about is if somebody came into my house and they were all nasty, smelling like smoke, not only would I not be happy, my wife would not be happy. And that is not something that I want. So I just think it's really smart to be cognizant of who you're sending in to where in all aspects, right? Like if you've got somebody that has got zero communication skills, you don't want them interacting with your customer base. So you got to kind of figure out where they're the best fit for those people are, or you move on and get somebody that is the right fit.
Beautiful. This is my final question, Mike. With regards to window cleaning, is there any terminology that we need to be aware of, like in pressure washing? Obviously we use sodium hypochlorite. We water the vegetation to make sure that we don't kill anything.
We talked briefly. WFP, water-fed pole, is something that you'd see out there. The traditional versus the water-fed pole. Traditional is again, squeegee and mops. What else? Rhody, reverse osmosis, deionized water. All of those things are things. But if you're interested in learning more about these, I did mention there was a couple places that you can go to online. But Google and YouTube are great as well for really kind of dialing in your technique, understanding the best ways to do things. If this is where your focus is going to be.
Like every guest that comes on the channel has picked the word of the day. What would you like the word of the day to be?
Well, I'm going to do this word of the day simply because I think it's going to be funny because it's kind of a weird word, and it's kind of a word that a lot of people might have a hard time spelling, and that's squeegee.
Squeegee. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below squeegee, and we will hashtag you a real one. Like I mentioned, check out the web class. Check out Quote IQ if you guys haven't already. It'll help you do all kind of things for your business and keep track of customers, send estimates, invoices, the whole deal. Mike, anything else before we wrap?
No, that's it.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate all you guys coming on, spending some time with us. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. Be sure to check Mike's channel out, all about pressure washing on YouTube. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. But until next time, hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.